Hello, today is the 23rd of October 2023. Crisp fall day, but it's nice outside, middle of the day. I got a couple of big boxes sitting here. These are from Desert Valley Auto Parts. So I thought, like the last time when I got a shipment like this, I would do the big reveal together with you. And this box is another door shell for the left rear door. And the box that I'm sitting on contains a rear bumper. I already know the rear bumper is not perfect, and they told me as such, and they sent me pictures, so I don't expect perfection when I open the box, but hopefully it'll be halfway decent. I also wanted to show that I bought another set of wheel chocks, since I had that unfortunate experience with my car when I was underneath it, when the transmission came out of park and the car shifted a bit while it was on jacks. That was kind of scary, so I'm put a proper set of wheel chocks on there. And I'm just going to use this little gasket scraper as a way of prying off these staples. So let's start with this box right here. These guys always do such a nice job of packaging these. They ship worldwide, a lot of these companies. So, of course, not cheap. The shipping is not cheap because of all they do to prepare these packages and the freight charges themselves. This came through R&L Carriers. I think that was the same company that shipped my last stuff from Texas. All right. Heavily stapled the whole thing, and that's good. Wow. Okay, there we go. Bubble wrap, and I see the door. I think I can just tip it over here toward the camera. Looks like it was a gold-colored car or some such thing that it came off of. All right. Luckily, these things aren't all that heavy when they're empty and no glass in them or anything. So this is a very nice, clean, dent-free, rust-free door. I'm glad to see. Yeah, so this one I'm very pleased with. It's a very nice shape, very good condition, so I'll have a separate video, just like I did with the right front door. That'll be a separate project to get this door on the car to replace the one that's there. So that's cool. Now, let me get this other box undone, see what this bumper looks like. I imagine it's going to be a while before I actually am ready to install this on the car, because they had to disassemble like 3 different bumpers on their end and give me the best parts out of all 3 of them. And I still have to do some cleaning and prep work and all that before it's really ready to go on my car, install the light fixtures and all that stuff. And that's fine. Again, very thoroughly packaged, which is cool. Okay, there we go. And there's the bumper, a little heavier than the door. Okay. All right, let's see how they did here. Ah, all right, well, just like they showed in the pictures, it's not as straight as I would like, I'll be honest, especially on the this side here. I'm actually going to have to see about trying to straighten that up a little bit. It's not as nice as I was hoping. I wanted one that was at least completely straight. Um, I did save these pieces from my old bumper because I saw in the pictures that this had some small dents in it, so that's not a problem. But on this side, definitely see some damage, because that car that this came off of took a hit on this side. They gave me a different bumper end, so I didn't get the damaged one at least. But this part I'm going to have to work on a little bit before it's ready to go in the car, I think. And that's it for the moment. All right, so now I have the 2 bumpers laying one on top of the other, and I would say my original lower bar here is definitely in much better shape than this one is. So what I'm going to end up doing is just taking the best parts of both bumpers and getting myself one good bumper. the parts from them that I can definitely use that I can't use on my old bumper is this top bar. There's a straight and this right end. Those are the two things that I'll use from Desert Valley Auto Parts. The rest of it, not really what I need. This is a good left end too, but I already had a good left end, so that'll give me a spare, or maybe I can just sell it to make a little money up for the parts I really didn't need. So I'm a little disappointed that this is in worse shape than I thought it would be, but also thankful that my original bumper, the damage was really contained on the right end and the top bar. So I'll be able to get a good bumper out of it. So I'll work on putting the best pieces together, cleaning it up as best I can, and then reinstalling it on the car. I don't know if I'm going to start on that today or not. I think I probably will. So we'll see how that goes. I almost forgot about another part because it's so small. It was wrapped up in plastic as I was getting ready to throw the plastic away. I had also asked for this trim piece that goes right here on this bumper on this rear fender in front of the bumper. So I got that piece too. Wasn't cheap, but then these parts never are, but it's in good condition. So whether or not I can easily get it on this repaired bumper or not, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. All right, I've got the bumpers laying on the ground here. Here's something I'm going to have to do. I have to isolate this lower part because that's the good part I'm keeping for my old bumper. And in order to do that, this part's already loose. That can stay attached on top to the bar I'm keeping. On this side, I'll have to remove that bolt and that bolt. Or will I? Let's see here. Actually, I think that left end is in good shape, so I'll just have to remove the lower bolt, not the top one. And one thing I don't like, what they did is they cut the license plate cable wire right there, and they cut it close too. I can't even tie into that if I wanted to, so I'm hopeful that I'll be able to carefully remove the little bolts there without breaking anything. On this one of the bolts came loose, the other one did not, so I'm not real hopeful about that. If there's a way I can possibly wire into that light, I might try and do that instead. We'll see how that goes. And I have to remove these nuts here to reuse my old ones from the old bumper, the center bumper pieces. All right, this is moving right along. One part that I had to decide which one I'm going to keep. This came from the original bumper that was on the car, and this one is on the replacement bumper, and the one that's on my car before is quite a bit rustier. So it looks like I will reuse that from Desert Valley Auto Parts, since it's already attached to this top bar, which I'm keeping. I don't have to take those bolts off. I've already removed the nuts that hold these center bumper pieces in, as you can see. My original, which is in my right hand, is in considerably better condition than the one that came from them. So I will try not to lose parts like that. But anyway, I will use the ones that were on the original bumper and get rid of the ones that came with their bumper. Same on the other side. This one is actually not as bad. This one is actually usable, but I don't know if it's any better than the one that's on my car before. And it looks like they're just about equal, so maybe I'll polish them both up and see which one looks best and work it that way. So I'm just about done taking this part off here. I have to keep my finger on the bolt underneath here so it doesn't fall out. And then I'll just take it out like that so I don't lose it. Keep that. I used a lot of PB Blaster to make sure I was able to get all this loose without any problems, and everything did come loose fairly easily, which is nice. So set that aside. And this is still attached to the top bar, which it will stay there. Now the bottom piece should come off now. Let's see what happens here. Got both ends disconnected already, so I just need to get it out of there. All right, it's hanging up on the center piece here a little bit, but we can work it out, I'm sure. Come on. Ah. All right, I guess you guys don't need to see how the sausage is being made here, so I'll pause for a minute. All right, in my hand is the license plate light from the original bumper. Um, and this is the one from the replacement bumper that I'm deathly afraid to try and remove those little screws right there, because on the old bumper, one of them broke. So it looks like there's a screw here, a Phillips screw, that I might be able to get that assembly out, including the lamp socket and everything. This one is in good shape. In that case, I will be good to go. So I'm going to take the screw out of the one that's in the replacement bumper top here, and hope I can just pop the whole assembly out with the lamp and the wire and just swap it. So we'll see how that goes. What I find interesting too about this license plate light is that the lens is made out of glass. A lot of these lenses are normally made out of plastic, but this one, pretty sure that's glass, which is kind of cool, really. I mean, it needs to be cleaned up. Let's see what happens here when I take this loose. Take the little cover off. I don't want to lose that little screw. And make that off. Looks like my luck ran out. That gasket's no good, of course. Looks like the whole thing is actually riveted in there. And I don't think I'm going to be able to break that socket loose. So it looks like I'm going to have to take my chances and see if I can unscrew those screws without breaking them. Wish me luck. All right, here's what I decided to do. I don't want to take the chance of breaking those little tiny nuts. I think that would be really hard to recover from. Since I learned how to rivet when I repaired the driver's door armrest several months ago, I decided there's two rivets here that hold this light assembly in place. So what I'm going to do is drill those rivets out, drill out the rivets in this one, and then just swap these light fixtures, since this one has the nice cable on it still, and then rivet it back together. I'm having to steal the rivets from the other kit that I still have that I may never use, but I don't know where I have any other rivets, so I'm just robbing Peter to pay Paul, as the old saying goes. I already know that I've got the right size rivet holder in the gun, since these are the same rivets I used before. So I'm just going to spend the next few minutes drilling out the rivets on both these brackets, swapping them, and then using the rivet gun to attach to the bracket. Hopefully that goes smoothly. All right, these rivets were hard to get out because of an angle here. I couldn't go straight on, but I did eventually get them out. Once I broke through with the drill bit, I just used this chisel to finish poking off the head, and it came out. So first step is good. This one I'll mount in a vise on the bench, and I'll hit them straight on, so these should come out much easier. And then putting the new rivets on coming from that way, I've got a straight on angle, so that should go smoothly. All right, I discovered that the rivets I have are not big enough for the holes that are here. So I found a couple of small screws with lock nuts and nuts to lock washers and nuts to put on here instead. Might be temporary or it might be permanent. I can probably do the rivets at a future time with the bumper on the car. They're pretty easy to get to. So I'm just going to finish assembling with these screws. All right, this is coming along nicely. Got the major pieces bolted back together now. So I cleaned it up a bit too with some 409, and I'll do some polishing later once I have it back on the car, like I did with the front bumper. So looking at the rear side, it's looking pretty good. I haven't used a shim. I had an extra one laying around, so I used a shim there. Just don't know if I really needed it or not, but I noticed there was two shims on the other side, on this side, so I used them, and it's looking pretty good. So now my next step is to put these center pieces back on, sitting around the license plate holder. They'll go right here in this section. And after that, I can put light assemblies back in, the brackets that attach it to the car. I don't think I'll get all that done today, but I'll keep going for a little while here. Looking good. All right, I'm running out of time for today, so I ended up having to remove a spacer from the lower bolt on this side because I couldn't get that drawn in far enough. So something is out of whack about this bumper. I don't know what it is, but by removing the spacer, I was able to draw this down tight against the bottom piece like it's supposed to be. So I just didn't over tighten it, because I'm sure these spacers serve the purpose where you tighten the nuts really tight, and then this keeps it from bending the bumper or whatever. But so I was just careful about that. But overall, it looks pretty good. So next steps will be to get the light fixtures installed, and then the bumper brackets, which are in that bucket, and hopefully these are in good shape. I did not get replacement brackets because I didn't really see any bending, obvious bending in those, so I'm hoping I didn't need to replace those. So it's looking pretty good. We'll see when I have time to finish it up. Also wanted to show what the little nuts ended up looking like, the little nuts and bolts that hold the license plate assembly, lamp assembly in the frame. I think that looks pretty good. I don't think I'm going to worry about replacing those with rivets in the future.